Hello, this is Professor K. I wanted to show you some ways to find credible sources for your research papers and to find source material to make your papers more effective, more persuasive. Um, One way to start is on your resources tab here, go to the UMUC library page, and there's a convenient search here called OneSearch. You can just type in your subject here. In my case, I'll look up media convergence, which is a good definition that you can look up and work on a paper for. And click search. And here you'll have a lot of the sources that UMUC has in its database. And the good thing about using this database is the sources are vetted and they've already been reviewed, peer reviewed, so they're considered credible sources, so they're very good to use usually in your papers, especially in academic papers, but also in other professional papers. In this case, click on this article, which looks pretty good, and take a look at it. Sometimes they give you a full document that you can look at, sometimes they don't. I'm looking for a full document, I think. Let's try this one. I'm not seeing any full document here. Let's try a detail record. No, we'll try one more. Okay, this one gives you a full text. That's kind of like what I like to work with. You'll have to look through the whole system to figure out how you want to work it. But this one gives a full text of the document, the article, and you can read through it. And if you find something in there that you really like, the abstract usually is a summary of the paper. Read it over. If there's some quotes in there you really like, or some information that you really like, you can cut and paste it and save it in a big your own mine of information. Also, you want to make sure that you put it in quotation marks because it's be direct quote, and then later you can paraphrase it or put it in double quotation marks if you want to use the exact word. So one thing I definitely want to show you is on this right side there's a great tool, and you can push that button over here and it gives you the APA reference, so you don't even have to create your own reference. You can copy and paste this and put it in your works cited, your reference page on your paper, and so they do that for you. It's very convenient. Another source that you might want to look at is Google Scholar, which is the same kind of database system. And there it is. And you can type in a keyword again. If you wanted to do an extended definition assignment like I was doing, you can do media convergence. Type it in, and they give you some articles, and most of them are considered scholarly articles from good sources of materials, so that you can use them in your paper and read through them, find out what you want to use to support your argument, and you'll be good to go. Another thing I would say is a lot of people like to use Wikipedia and that's a lot of times I would say, even though the academic community generally frowns upon Wikipedia because anybody can contribute to it, generally speaking, it's a pretty good source. In my professional opinion, it's a pretty good source of information overall, at least to get started. So let's see, I put media convergence in there. and this is talking about generally media conversion. So it's a good overall. A lot of times it gives you a good overview of the subject matter, but you don't want to really use it and quote and put Wikipedia as your source. That's frowned upon at academic circles. So what you can do though is find the original source and then see if you can find the information on the original source. If it's a good credible source, then you can use this as your APA reference. Another thing I would suggest is when you're trying to find credible sources, edu sites, extensions with edu for education are good, org are good, gov extensions are good, and even sometimes .coms will work, because what you need to do is decide for yourself whether or not it's a credible source or not. And sometimes, a lot of times, you'll need to look at other sources to confirm things and get several sources, but they can all be valuable if you think they're credible and they can support the argument that you're trying to make your paper more effective. One other thing I want to mention while we're kind of in that subject is also there's the Effective Writing Center, which is in the Resources tab. You might want to check that out. There's lots of information on here about helping you write good academic and professional papers. And there's also advising, where you can get online help. You can submit your paper and get some online help that way. So I hope that can help you some way. If you have any questions, please contact me.